Hello, I'm Christopher Walker. Today we're going to look at the Cambridge English first exam and the listening paper. The total time you have in the listening is about 40 minutes, although of course you don't have much control over how you spend that time. And then you have 5 minutes at the end to copy your answers into the answer booklet. There are 4 parts to the listening, and they cover all the different listening skills. And in total you usually have 30 questions to answer. The first part is the multiple choice part. Now in this part you listen to an interview or a monologue, and then you have to answer multiple choice questions based on what you hear. It's a relatively easy introduction. However, it is still a Cambridge exam, so you have to watch out for distractions. You'll often hear information that relates to the other options, but that doesn't always answer the question exactly. So listen for the specific information that you need. Use the second listening carefully to check your answers from the first. So here you can try the first listening, just questions 1 to 3. If you would like to listen to the rest, you can. For the questions themselves, refer to the PDF that's linked in the description below, and you'll need to download the MP3 files from the Cambridge website. The link for this is also given. So here are the answers and where we get them from. And for 1 we want B, which is to issue an invitation. 2 is B, it's offer activities for small children. And 3 is A, their belief that she leads a glamorous life. So how do we get the answer? Well, listen again, and I want you to find the things that they say, the speakers. What do they say that give us these answers? Okay, so pause the video and listen again. Where do you get the answers from? Well, here's where. So for B, we want to hear, I wondered if you wanted to come away for the weekend. This is an invitation. For B, small children's activities, I wish they'd had water games for the under 5s. Of course, if you are under 5 years old, you're a small child. And then for number 3, their belief that she leads a glamorous life. Here we have this idea about partying and gossip. So now you can see where you get the information from. You can try with the other questions and do the same sort of thing. In the handbook PDF, you'll find a transcript or written record of everything that you can hear. You can check your answers there as well. Part 2, we have what we call sentence completion. Here you listen to somebody talking about a topic, maybe as an interview or as a monologue. Some information is missing and you have to fill in the blanks on the exam paper. So what should you do here? Well, you have some time before the task begins. Use that time quickly to decide what kind of information you need. For each space, are you looking at a noun or a verb? And think about whether it's something specific, like the name of a place or a job. Usually you can use your own world knowledge to refine your search. For example, if you're listening to a talk about a safari and a country is named, think about countries where you can go on safari. It's very unlikely that the country they're talking about is England, but it might be Kenya. Think about the grammar you need as well. Look around the space. Is the noun going to be plural or singular? Don't rephrase the answer. This should be exactly what you hear. However, the words around the answer will be different. You're not simply listening for something to copy down in context. There will be a rephrasing of that information. So if you have time, for each question, think of alternative expressions. So here you can try. And here are the answers. Okay. Remember that the spelling is important, but go through and see if they match. If the word is in brackets, it suggests that you don't need this. For example, in number 9, you could write the word name or great name. Great alone is not enough. And if there is a slash, it shows that there are 2 possible options. You could write for number 11 northern or the north. Both are correct. part 3 of the exam, we have a multiple matching exercise. So here you listen to some people talking, you have to match statements to the person. So you hear 5 speakers and you have 8 options to match them against. So listen carefully to the specific information you need. And sometimes you have to read between the lines. You have to think of things that are related to the topic. You might hear something about violins or keeping time or a sense of rhythm or a good ear for sound. And you might be thinking here that it's about music. You're not likely to hear them say, "I like music." That would give the answer away. Beware of distractions. If an answer seems too easy, it probably is, but also look out for those linking words in English that contradict what came before. If you hear the word however, that should be a warning sign for you. What comes after however will be very important for the task. So let's have a look. Here's the first listening, then I'll show you the answers, then we'll listen again and you can check to see where the answers come from. So here are the answers. Now, second listening, where do we get the answers from? Well, here we are. So for G, we want to hear, "We weren't short of things to do in the city." This shows a range of opportunities. B, we talk about the natural beauty of the scenery. They were really impressed. Here, the efficiency of the public transport system connects with the fact that the ferries were always on time. The standard of the accommodation is mentioned by saying the hotels were all excellent. And then the helpfulness of the people is given by, "We were never short of help." So as you can see, each of the answers shows how we can rephrase the original question. Part 4 is another multiple choice task, but here the listening skills tested are a little bit different. You have to listen very carefully for specific information, but also for the attitude of the speaker. So read through the questions very quickly before the start. As you listen, always keep an eye on the next question as well as the one you're listening for. Like with the reading paper, if you can't find the answer to the question you're looking for, but you find the next question is mentioned, it means you've gone too far. You have to wait for it to come round again and listen more carefully. And the questions do often test your ability to infer information. So here we have to watch when the speakers talk around the subject, giving us information connected to the subject, but not the subject itself. So, we're going to be concentrating on these questions, and here's the first listening. And here are the answers. So now let's listen again, and we'll find where the answers come from. Here we go. So here are the answers and their explanations. So C, it's appropriate for most of the work she does, and we hear it does describe the majority of what I do. So most of the work is majority. It's not of a high enough quality. It's not of the required standard. When the work is not accepted, some of them phone up to argue about it. And finally, I try to find out what has influenced them. This is some background information about the artist. So let's have a quick look at some of the other ideas that you can use to help you succeed in this exam. Well, first of all, you don't have much time to prepare for each part of the listening, so try to use that time as carefully as you can. Look through and see what's expected of you. Look for the information you need to listen for. Maybe make some notes or underline words in the question that you think are very useful. Don't be too sure that you've got the right answer, especially with the multiple matching. If you think you have the right answer but you're wrong, it likely means that one of your other answers is also wrong. And check your spelling very carefully. If you've spelt the word correctly on the question paper but you don't copy it correctly, you won't get the mark for it. So be very careful.